Hi there, good morning. You've tuned into ET now, and this is Buy Now Sell Now with me, Cheryl D'Souza, along with me today. Once again, I have Soumit Sarkar. A very good morning to you, Soumit.
Good morning to you, Cheryl.
And it looks like it's transpiring to be a very great morning, not just a good morning, given the way how the markets are actually trading in today's trading session. If you look at it, a day of break, it definitely has revived the market as well, and just like it's revived all of us as well. But if you look at the markets, 0.9% uptick coming in for the Nifty. If you look at Nifty Bank, is trading with gains about 0.7% as we speak. The advanced decline ratio very much tilted in the favor of the gainers as of now. Remember, a very strong handover that we've got from the US markets overnight, with the fact that the inflation has actually come in line with the expectations. So hopefully people are anticipating the fact that the rate hike cycle in the United States may have actually come to an end. But yes, never say never, taking a look at what the markets are doing. But the list of Nifty losers are pretty minimal. The top loser on the Nifty right now is Power Grid, which is trading with losses less than 1%, followed by Britannia and Sun Pharma. While on the other end of the market, you have Hindalco, that's seeing strong gains of about 4.3%. You have Tech Mahindra, ONGC, Eicher Motors, as well as LTI Mindtree, that are the other set of gainers. Talking about the sectoral picture right now, and if you look at the sectoral indices, all of them are in the positive territory, barring the pharma index that is actually trading with mild bit of losses right now. In fact, it's trading flat with a negative bias. That would be the right way to put the way how the pharma index is actually performing right now. But realty index 2.3% uptick, IT index 2% uptick, metal index 1.4%. So really strong gains coming in across the board. Soumit. But take a look at pharma. No doubt it's flat, but a lot of data also has been coming in for the pharma sector as a whole, isn't it?
Well, yes, in fact, in the last couple of days, we have seen the domestic data and as well as the export data come out. When it comes to the domestic data, we had seen a strong value growth of around 16.5% versus the previous month. Volume growth was also strong at around 8.4%. And it was because of the pollution and this seasonality changes that we have been seeing. A lot of demand for anti-infective drugs was pushed up. And that's the reason FDC as a company, if you see, had reported a strong growth of around 21% on a month-on-month basis on drug sales. Apart from that, it was Sun Pharma, Mankind, JB Pharma and Ipca, which have also managed to beat the domestic market growth in the month of October, while Cipla, Lupin, Dr. Reddy, Eris Life and Ajanta Pharma underperformed the IPM growth data. Now, Ipca Labs reported the highest growth with around 24%, followed by FDC with the 21% growth. JB Pharma, Sanofi, Mankind and Abbott reported a growth anywhere between 17 to 18% on a month-on-month basis in the month of October. And when it comes to the export data, on that front, if you see, Divi's, which is the highest exporting pharma company of around $52 million, reported a decline of around 33% on a month-on-month basis. But again, on a YY basis, it's a growth of around 33%. Apart from that, the biggest drop on a month-on-month basis was seen in Granules, JB Pharma, Laurus Labs, Newland Labs and Solara Active. In fact, for Granules, if you see on a month-on-month basis, exports have declined by around 60%. So that's a big drop coming in for Granules. Apart from that, Ipca Labs reported a drop of around 19%, while JB Pharma reported a drop of around 34% on a month-on-month basis in the month of October. So a lot of data coming in, domestic data favorable, export data favorable for few, but majorly it's negative for bigger players like Divi's, Granules and JB Pharma.
All right, so that's the picture coming in for pharma sector, especially when you talk about the export data or even the domestic volume as well as sales data coming in for these domestic players. But what should you do when it comes to the pharma sector? Because we've definitely seen pharma sector actually claw back, actually regain its mojo. A lot of them actually report a stellar set of earnings as well. Take a look at Lupin, or for the matter of fact, Orban, the pharma, Cipla also for the matter of fact. All of them posted really good set of numbers. So should you go by the recent data, or do you see the fundamentals for these companies? How should you actually look at the pharma sector, given the fact that a lot of these companies are in various sectors? So let's talk about more of the pharma sector on the technicals and the fundamental side. We have Kunal Bothra on the technicals, while on the fundamentals we have Rajesh Agarwal. A very good morning to both of you gentlemen. Also happy new year to both of you all. And Rajesh, let me come to you first. We didn't get a chance to wish you happy Diwali. So hope you had a great festive season. And what about the pharma index? Do you think the pharma sector will have a great season going ahead as well? Do you think the all ends of the pharma sector are firing full cylinders?
Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Kunal. And a very happy Diwali to you your entire team and our viewers too, and Happy New Year too. As far as pharma is concerned, I think pharma is in a growth path, I would say. It's firing on all cylinders, as you said it right, regaining its mojo. And it's expected to reach around 130 billion US dollar by 2030. It's currently ranked around third worldwide in production of pharma products, and that's a huge, huge positive, I would say. There are huge capabilities in generic drug manufacturing. Biopharmaceuticals and biosimilars are doing well. Many companies have filed a lot of ANDAs, and the new products are in the pipeline. The best part is it exports to 150 odd countries worldwide, and foreign investments are very liberal in pharma, I would say. 100% FDI is allowed. So we are very excited on the fundamental parts. Plus, not to forget that from the last 2-3 years, it has not performed at all. And it's just a matter of time when they start performing. And with the kind of recent data on the quarterly numbers and market cap of different companies, we believe that it's just a matter of time to perform. As far as stocks are concerned, in the frontline stock, we would go for Dr. Reddy, Cipla, or a Sun Pharma. In a mid cap, we would go for Glenmark, Ipca, or Lupin. And if somebody is looking for a small cap for multiple times of returns with some kind of risk, Shilpa Medicare would be a better choice. But I would say there are concerns also. There every now and then there are some US FDA inspection going on, and that plays a spoil spot on the prices. But somebody looking for a 12 to 18 months horizon, I think it's a good sector to be in.
Thank you, Rajesh, for giving us those details. Moving on, Kunal, how do you see the pharma index on technical front, and also which would be your top picks in the pharma space?
So it's like the courses remain the same, but the horses have changed for the pharma index. Start of this year, in fact, it was Glenmark, Zydus, and Aurobindo Pharma. These three were looking very attractive. These three were one of the best gainers. I think, if I'm not wrong, there was a point where the YTD returns for all three of the stocks was more than or in excess of 50% to 60% for these names, and compared to where these stocks were beaten down over the last many years, that was a stellar recovery which we've seen for the pharma index and for these three stocks. However, in the last 2 or 3 months, there have been fresh names which have given breakouts. Granules has given a breakout on the upside. Large cap names like Lupin, Sun Pharma, these stocks have made a strong comeback. So I think it's more or less to do with how the sector is looking quite strong and vibrant. From current levels, I would look out for Sun Pharma as one of the better bets, trading above 1100 marks. So that's a stock which I would maybe go for a larger cap bet on the pharma pack. And Granules is the other stock which also looks attractive at current levels.
All right, so there's a lot of picks coming in from Kunal when it comes to the pharma sector, and that's we've got the expert view as well. There's Rajesh and Kunal's view on the pharma space. It's definitely firing on all cylinders, and according to Rajesh, yes, they are on the growth trajectory. But on that note, we'll actually slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we'll start taking your query, viewers, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now, show where we get you answers for all of your stock-related query, viewers. And you know what to do. You can write to us on the WhatsApp number that'll be flashing on your screen. Do remember, each time you write to us, do mention your name, the stock that you're looking to invest in. If you're already invested in the stock, mention the buy price, quantity, as well as the time horizon that you're looking to hold a particular counter. In that way, our experts will be able to help you better. Talking about our experts, today we have Kunal Bothra as well as Rajesh Agarwal. And let's get started with all the queries that's pouring in. And we just spoke about the pharma sector in particular. And this one is coming from Satya, and this one is for you, Rajesh. Given the fact that you did speak about that the pharma sector is on a growth trajectory, he wants to know, among Piramal Pharma, Indico Remedies, as well as Shilpa Medicare, which one do you think will be a value pick?
See, as I discussed in my pharma section, that Shilpa was one of our small cap picks, and I still believe that Shilpa can be a better choice out of these three. But yes, Piramal Pharma can give you trading opportunities. Shilpa doesn't have that kind of opportunity. You have to hold for 18 months time horizon. Depending on your time horizon, one can go for Piramal Pharma or Shilpa Medical.
Well, the next one is coming in from Prakash Nayak from Hyderabad, and this is largely on the technical front. He has bought Uptech at a price of 292, and he holds around 450 of those shares, and the share prices have been falling for the last 3 months. He wants to know whether can he hold the stock for a year or book losses.
Hold on, as of now, it's come back towards almost exactly its 200 DMA after, I think, making a high of 350 or 380, 385 for Aptech a couple of months back. So I think that the mean reversion process now seems to be over for the stock price. It's a good time where it should look to average further as well.
All right, this next one is coming from Subramanian, writing to us from Chennai, wants to know about the outlook on Trent in the medium term. He's already purchased the stock at a price of 113 rupees per share a few years ago. Rajesh, what's your take coming in on Trent for the medium term? Do you think the outlook is pretty bright given the fact that everyone's out there shopping?
Of course, yes, and the numbers have been pretty good, I would say. Not only uh, the Trent website is doing well, even the Zudio thing is doing very well. I think it has run up quite a lot in the recent past, might consolidate somewhat, but for a medium term horizon, I think 3,000 odd levels would be a decent target for us.
The next one is from Madhuri, and she wants to know, wants to have a both fundamental and technical view on HG Infra. Now, the company reported a second quarter numbers which were below estimates, but outlook-wise, the numbers, the outlook is quite strong given the order infra that the company is looking. First, on the fundamental side, Rajesh, how do you see HG Infra?
See, the numbers have been good, no doubt on that. Order book is also good. But I think there are better choices in the sector, I would say. But going forward, the entire infra sector is going to do well because of election looming large in the next 5-6 months. I think government is going to release all those infra projects. So one can go long on infra, IG infra for 900 odd rupees target, but there are better choices like I would go for Larsen for that matter, being on a safer side.
Do you agree with Rajesh's view?
I would suggest an exit on HG Infra. I think the stock has broken below its major support levels. Indicators are also quite weak on the charts. There could be a corrective wave which could last for many quarters to come by for the stock price. So my advice would be to exit.
All right, Kunal, another one coming your way. This one is coming from Muni Rajalu, and he has a couple of financial stocks that he's looking to invest in for a period of actually 5 years, but he wants an entry point for these counters. Out of the stocks that I'll mention, which of these do you think makes sense for a longer term and is the right price to enter? One is Yes Bank, IDFC First Bank, Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, and Bank of Maharashtra.
See, I think I'll pick the from the last three names in terms of set. IDFC First Bank is something which you can consider at current levels of 86 or 87 where the stock is trading right now. I think it's gone through an ample amount of time-wise and as well as a price-wise correction. In last, I think 1 or 2 weeks, the stock has recovered from 81 levels. So that's something which you can look out for at current levels. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, I think maybe if you get the stock maybe closer to 50, 52 kind of a range, that's a very good level to try and enter into the stock price. Bank of Maharashtra, I think many of the PSU banking stocks are now starting to get into recovery. What we saw on Monday was a first stage of a breakout for Bank of Maharashtra as well. I think at current levels 46, you can buy maybe 50% of your expected quantity and keep some powder dry in case of the stock dips towards 42. Look to add further.
The next one is coming in from Vinod, who's a long-term investor in Chennai, and he has around 100 shares of Raymond and 50 shares of Supreme Industries and wants to know whether should he hold these stocks for the next 5 years, Rajesh?
Yes, one can continue to hold. They are doing very well. They are moving into some defense kind of sector. That's a good story, I would say. Although it has run up quite a lot based on the land things and all. But still, it's a good story. One can continue to hold. Supreme, we have a target of 4,300 odd rupees, and that's very near to this place. So I would say around 4,300, book some profit and re-enter if it goes down.
All right, this one is coming in from the next query is from Raja writing to us from Chennai. Kunal, he has 200 shares of SBI card purchased at 940 rupees per share. Wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to it or look to exit?
I think you should continue to hold on. My sense is also that the stock is trying to come back into a trendline breakout mode. So a downward sloping trendline which has been going on since the time when the stock was almost at 920, 940 levels. That is on the verge of a breakout. So you can consider even averaging the stock at current levels for SBI cards.
The next one is from K. Parthasarathy, who's a senior citizen from Chennai, and he wants to know on NMDC. He holds around 200 shares at 132 rupees. The numbers were a bit muted, but Kunal, what's your technical view on this stock? Should he hold, sell, or add the stock more?
See, I'm assuming that you're looking at it from long-term play. So I think in that aspect, I would consider to hold, NMDC. I think the stock is looking very attractive on the longer-term charts. It's completed a major breakout pattern on the monthly as well as on the quarterly time frame. So I think it depends on your time frame. If you're okay holding on to the stock, say for another couple of years, then I think it could be a stock which can provide exceptional returns going forward. So I would suggest a hold in that aspect.
All right. Another one, Kunal, a quick one that is, and that's Canara Bank. 20 shares at a price of 350. Bharat has been holding on to this counter. Should he add some more at current price, or should he just stay put with whatever he has?
I think you can continue to add Canara Bank at current levels, even though the stock has given a breakout, and I think if I'm not wrong, it's perched at a 4-year or a 5-year swing high. It looks very attractive. It's been one of the leader PSU banking names from the mid cap end. So I would suggest a buy or even an average at current levels.
Next query is from Uday Singh from Hyderabad, and he wants to know whether should he buy Sirma SGS and GAIL for a 1-year period, Rajesh?
I would say avoid both. Sharma, the numbers were not that great. Wait for the stock to come around 480, 470 levels, then you can go ahead. What was the second stock you said?
Second one was GAIL.
Hello?
GAIL India. I guess he can't hear us, but technically, Kunal, what do you see? How do you see GAIL?
Yeah, GAIL, I would suggest, in fact, it's a hold. I think it's a fantastic chart. PSU stocks are emerging, as very strong breakouts, like what we saw for formidable large cap names like ONGC, Coal India, etc. I think GAIL could also be another large cap name which could try and perform in that aspect. I would definitely recommend a hold.
Right. Rajesh, you wanted to come in on GAIL India?
Oh, it was GAIL, right. Yes, it's a very good long-term story. I would say there are some concerns on the gas prices and all, but still going forward, I think GAIL can be a long-term story for somebody looking for 2 years time horizon. The numbers have been subdued, but going forward, we think with the kind of infrastructure it has, the kind of pipeline it has, it's going to be a good story. So one can continue to hold, and if by any chance it comes to 115 odd levels, it's a buy.
A very short and sweet, but a very tricky question for you, Rajesh. This one is coming in from Lakshmanan S, who is a senior citizen from Bangalore. He's saying he's a long-term investor, but he wants to know about any mid-cap or a small-cap stock that he can look to invest in.
See, at this point of time, I would say that mid-cap and small-cap are do give good returns, but they come with risks involved. So since you are a retired investor, I would say please consider the risks involved. And as far as stock is concerned, I think one can go ahead with Shalby Limited at this point of time. It's one of the major hospitals which is into knee replacement. They have 1,200 odd beds which are fully operational. They're going for 50 franchisee-based new hospitals. They have taken acquired an implant company in USA for which there are huge prospects. And the best part is debt-free. So we have given a buy call on this to our clients also. So this can be held for a time period of maybe 2 years, 3 years down the line. It can do very good numbers.
Thank you, Rajesh, for that. With that, let's slip into a short break and we'll address more viewer queries post that. So stay tuned in to Eating Up.
और भरोसा दोनों
इस बार इससे करें।
Hi, what's that? That's a Manish Malhotra. Not your dress. The cupboard. The laminate is a Manish Malhotra design.
Century Laminates by Manish Malhotra. Fashion for your furniture.
Live it up, live it up.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now. Let's continue taking all of your stock-related queries then. And this one is coming from one of our viewers who's not mentioned his name. Let me just try and see if I can get his name. This one, her name. This is from Usha, and Usha wants to know if she can buy Kajaria Ceramics for a short term, that is 3 to 6 months, Kunal, in the view of buoyancy in the real estate sector. But 3 to 6 months. That much time horizon is enough to buy Kajaria Ceramics if you have to play the realty theme altogether.
So yeah, of course, two divergent points. One is trying to look out for a sector as a turnaround because real estate has been doing pretty well, and then having a time frame which is a bit more restricted. But I believe purely in terms of charts, Kajaria Ceramics in the last 3 odd months I think has gone through a decent 20% correction from 1500 to 1200 or slightly below those levels is where the stock has gone through a correction, which means that maybe the worst, at least from a short-term angle, could be behind into the stock price. So it could be a point where you can start buying at current levels. You can look to average at closer to 1200 in case of the stock dips down back again to test the previous supports. On the upside, you can look out for targets in the range of 1400 to 1450 for the stock.
Well, the next one is from Ajay from Telangana, and it's again for you, Kunal, and it's on Tata Motors. Now he's asking whether should one buy a call option of Tata Motors given the fact that Tata Tech IPO is opening next week.
Well, I would not suggest the buying of call option because the option parts, they play a bit more tricky in this kind of a market scenario. But I would believe that it's better that you start buying this on the cash segment. I think that's a much better bet. The stock has already performed exceptionally well so far this year, and it looks very attractive when you look at the longer term chart. So not suggest an option trade over here, but yes, you can consider this in terms of a portfolio buy.
All right, this one is coming from Ranjit, he's writing to us from Gurgaon, and this one is for you, Rajesh. He wants to know, he shortlisted 2 stocks. One is NCC, the other one being Aarti Industries. Which one of these 2 should he look to buy for 1 year? And if not only 1 year, for a longer term time horizon, out of these 2, which one do you think fits the bill?
See, go for NCC. It's a better company, I would say. Good order book. Numbers have been pretty good. The sector is looking good. So all in all, positives go for NCC. Even Aarti Drugs is not bad, given the fact that it's not performed at all in the last so many quarters, I would say. And it's time it start performing. 600 would be a target for Aarti.
Next query is from Pradeep from Kolkata, and he's a senior citizen and he has around 100 shares of PCBL, which was earlier known as Philip Carbon, bought at 133, and 30 shares of Sonata Software, bought at around 546. Now he has a long-term vision of 2 to 3 years, Rajesh. So should he continue to hold both these counters or exit?
PCBL, we are very bullish on this. One should go ahead and buy at these levels too. It's one of the largest carbon black manufacturers in India and among top 3 across the world. Capex has been completed. There has been huge demand from the tire sector as such. So we think PCBL is a buy at this point of time. And for the Sona, I think one can book profit at these levels.
All right, this one's coming from Varghese from Kerala, Kunal. He's holding Apollo Microsystems, 500 shares at a price of 117 rupees per share. Now the stock is trading above 130 rupees or so. He wants to know whether he should stay put with this counter for the next 2 months only.
I don't track it, sorry, so I'll skip this one.
All right. By any chance, have you been able to track this one, Rajesh? Apollo Microsystems.
See, it has been doing very well for the last few trading sessions, I would say. It's into defense and all. But I think buying at this point of time would be a little bit of risky because it is going circuit to circuit from the last few sessions. So I would say wait for some correction to enter. If you are holding that stock, continue to hold.
One is from Mahesh, who's a senior citizen in Delhi, and it's for you, Kunal. He wants to invest around 5 lakh in 3 to 4 stocks from medium to long term point of view from technical angle.
Well, I think the first name which comes and on top of the radar is Poonawalla Fincorp. I think that stock looks attractive. It's trading at I think 390 approximately at current levels. That's something which you can consider at current juncture for the stock. NMDC, something which I highlighted some time back. That's also looking attractive. DLF, on the other hand, I think from the real estate pack also looks to be a stronger candidate of a breakout. You can consider this as well from that kind of a time frame.
All right, so those are the top technical picks coming in from Kunal for today then. And this one is, the next query is coming in from Chandrasekhar, writing to us from Chennai. And he has Sona Comstar, 500 shares, average price of 590 rupees per share. Kunal, can he hold on through this one for the next 6 months? Or should he average the counter at current price or book losses?
The stock has gone through a sharp correction. I think if I'm not wrong, in the last 1 month, 1 or 2 months, the stock had corrected from 625 to a point when it was almost at 480, 485 levels. Now it's trying to make a comeback of sorts for itself. I would not suggest an averaging out, even though the stock is showing recovery for itself because of the steep high beta nature of the stock price. My sense is that the stock may try and stabilize at this 550, 580 mark. So you just continue to hold on your existing quantity. No need to book as well as add the stock at current levels.
Okay, the next one is from Abhishek from Hyderabad, and he had bought Union Bank shares at around 92 rupees per share, and today the stock is up at its 52-week high, in fact. So Rajesh, should he book profits here or continue to hold this counter?
Continue to hold. PSU banks has been doing very well. The numbers have been good. Asset quality has improved. One can continue to hold.
All right, let's just mark the flashes on the bottom of your screen. We were awaiting this particular development to transpire, and that's exactly how it has happened actually. Somit, you have Siemens AG will be buying 18% in Siemens India for a price of around 2.1 billion euros. That's the latest that we are picking up on this particular front. And we know that also what they are saying is Siemens and Siemens Energy to complete demerger of India Ops by 2025. You have Siemens Energy that's come out with the numbers actually globally, and from there you're getting these commentaries coming in. For now, what they're saying is Siemens and Siemens Energy to complete demerger of India Ops by 2025, and Siemens Energy to buy 18% in Siemens India for a price of around 2.1 billion euros. How significant would this be for the India entity or for the investors?
Well, this is largely an inter-promoter transfer that we are seeing. Now, the value that they are giving around 2.1 billion euro, it seems to be at a slight discount. Now, currently, if you see the 18% stake of Siemens is valued at close to 22,300 crore rupees, which is around 2.47 billion euros that we are seeing, and they would be buying it at around 2.1. So there is some discount. So we'll have to see how the street reacts to that. But there's definitely a discount, and that is what the street was also expecting to happen when this deal was supposed to be announced, given that it's a big block that has been transferred but it's an inter-promoter transfer. Nothing so far at this point changes in the fundamental. The transfer of businesses that they're talking in 2025 needs to be more analyzed, and we need to get more in comments from the company.
Right, absolutely. Let's wait and watch out for some more details to emerge on this particular front, and what exactly analyst community have to say on this particular front, given the fact that this development was expected. We were anticipating this particular deal to come up, and what we are picking up right now is that Siemens to buy 18% in Siemens India for a price of $2.1 billion, and Siemens Energy.
It's euro.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. Yes, 2.1 billion euro. So used to saying dollars actually. But Siemens and Siemens Energy to complete the demerger of India Ops by 2025. So that's a very crucial development that's coming in for Siemens India. And you can see the stock price also. It actually saw a jump of as much as 2.5%. Right now, the stock is trading higher by about 1.7% or so as we speak. Somit.
Well, yeah. The next query, now that's on Union Bank. I guess we have addressed that query. And if you see, the next one is from, I try to get his name, it's from Sarabjit Kalsi, and it's on Ather Industries. He holds around 60 shares of Ather Industries. He bought it last year around 800 rupees per share. Should he continue to hold or exit, Rajesh? Rajesh, this one was for you. Ather Industries, the person holds around 60 shares at around 800 rupees per share.
I believe you'll have to unmute Rajesh. Okay.
Kunal, what's your technical view on that?
So, Ather is something which I think has again limited history because of the recent listing for the stock price over just the last 1 odd year. In the last 3-4 months, I think from the July highs or June highs for the stock, it's gone through a very sharp correction. So, just looking at this last 4 odd months of price patterns for Ather, it doesn't look attractive as a chart. I would suggest that if you're holding the stock, you can look to exit and then come back to the traditional larger cap auto stocks. I think something which we discussed, for example, Tata Motors looks attractive at current levels. Hero MotoCorp is something which is confirming a breakout or is on the verge of a breakout for itself. Maruti from the two-wheeler pack, from the four-wheeler pack, also looks very attractive at the 10,000 plus mark where it's trading right now. So it's better that you start shifting from this stock towards the traditional larger cap names from the auto pack.
All right, the next query that I have is coming in okay, let me take this next one. Is coming in from a senior citizen who's written to us and wants to know about Trident to buy at its current rate for a period of 6 months. Kunal, do you think makes sense? This is from KV Reddy from Bengaluru.
Well, you can consider buying the stock at current levels. The risk appetite should be on the higher side, and I'm assuming that that's the case already for you. But I think at current levels, the stock is on the verge of a breakout at 36, 37 mark, 37 odd mark, where it's trading right now. You can look out for targets in the range of 44 to 45 in case this breakout sustains for Trident.
With that, let's slip into a short break and we'll address more of your queries in the next part. So stay tuned in to Eat Now.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and some more details coming in on that global transaction, Siemens India, where actually Siemens Energy will be selling its 18% stake in Siemens India to Siemens AG, that's the parent company, for around 2.1 billion euros. The stock is actually now fluctuating, as you can see it on your screen, given the fact that more details are emerging and actually analyst community are trying to take note and decipher what this actually means for Siemens India. But let's move on and let's talk about a long-term query. Rajesh, this one is coming to you. This one is coming in from Ravi, and he wants to know about Tata Steel. How is this particular counter looking to you on the longer-term horizon? If he's already invested, would you advise him to stay put with this particular holding? And if he wants to enter afresh into Tata Steel, do you think now makes sense?
See, for longer term, yes, one can continue to hold given the fact that it has huge capacity. European operations are somewhat coming into line and they have huge capex plan. But for a new investment, I think there are better choices in the market. Even Jindal Steel and Power is doing very well. JSW Steel is doing very well in the same sector. If somebody wants to put new money, these two stocks would be better pleased than Tata Steel. But for a longer term horizon, I think all three are very good if somebody is ready to hold for 3 to 4 years.
And the next query is coming in from Mevin, and it's on Confidence Petrol, and it's for short term, like for just 2 months. He holds around 350 shares. Average price is 95. Should he continue to hold, Kunal?
I think you should continue to hold on, even though the stock has gone through a correction. But this recent recovery for the stock is exactly coinciding with the retracement towards 200 moving average. So which means that the major mean reversion is over, and the stock is now looking fairly attractive. So I would suggest to hold on.
All right, the next query is coming in from Dilesh Joshi. He's writing to us from Mumbai and he wants a long-term perspective or long-term take coming in on BSE. Rajesh, he's holding the stock at a price of an average price of around 600 rupees per share. He wants to know what's the long-term prospect coming in for BSE. Makes sense to hold on to this particular counter for the longer term. What's your take coming in on BSE?
See, we have been very bullish on BSE for since very long period of time, and we are constantly recommending since 450, 500 odd levels adjusted for bonus. And now at 2330 odd levels, I think new entry should be not be done at this point of time. Maybe some correction is warranted because of kind of stellar run-up which has been seen in the recent past. But as far as business is concerned, doing very well. Options data has gone up. Future and option data has gone up. That's a big positive. They have increased the charges. Nobody was very much convinced about the charges being increased, but that has been increased, and that's a big positive. Other thing is they hold around 20% in CDSL. They have 3,004 crore as cash balance, and not to forget they have the best SME platform, the best mutual fund platform, and the stake in India Annex. So everything is in favor of this company for a longer term horizon. Yes, it can give good returns from these levels too, but for somebody looking for new entry, one should wait for some amount of correction.
And the next one is for you, Rajesh, from Satyan. He holds around 85 shares of Godrej Agrovet at a price of around 540 rupees. He's asking whether should he continue to hold the stock or exit. He can hold it for at least the next 1 year, he's saying.
See, the stock has not done anything from the in the recent past, but the fundamentals are very strong. It has in a great business of palm oil and all. So if somebody is looking for a 1 year, 18 months time of horizon, one can continue to hold.
Okay. This one is this one is coming in from Kumar Swami and Kunal. He's bought Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC at a price of 692 rupees per share. He wants to know what should he do with this counter now?
Well, I would suggest it looks attractive. In fact, the stock has confirmed a breakout on the short term as well as on the medium term charts, breaking past about the previous 2023 highs, I think if I'm not wrong, which was around 400, 405 mark for Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC. I would suggest a hold.
Well, the next one is for you, Rajesh, from Shaju from Kochi. He holds, or he recently bought, in fact, Petronet LNG at a price of around 196 rupees per share. He wants to know the long-term view about this company.
See, the company is good. They have got infrastructure, pipeline is growing, and the way things are moving into the gas sector, I think this company has huge prospects going forward. But in the short term, I don't think anything would happen. Somebody looking for a time horizon of 2-3 years, one can continue to hold. And if it falls to around 180, 185 levels, that would be a good entry point for new investors.
All right, this one is coming in from Krishna Kumar. He has 350 shares of Pfizer at a price of 4,395 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should average, sell or book losses. Kunal, what's your take?
Well, I would suggest to exit the stock. It's reeling below the key moving averages. The stock has been a huge drag as well as an underperformer. I think it makes sense to exit the stock and shift back towards larger cap names. It's something which I recommended earlier. For example, the likes of Sun Pharma, Lupin, Cipla. I think these stocks are looking very better. So, good time to make that switch.
Well, the next one is from Jitendra from Pune, and he's a long-term investor, and he wants Rajesh's view on Polyplex Corp. He holds around 70 shares, bought at around 1,460 rupees.
Company has gone through some bad phases in the recent past. The numbers have been poor in the last 2-3 quarters, but it has a history of giving great numbers and great dividend, I would say. The company is into flexible packaging. Going forward, I think all the negatives has been discounted. And at these prices, I think it's a good buy at these levels.
This one is coming for you, Kunal, and this one is coming in from a viewer who's not mentioned his name. Please do mention your name each time you write to us. I think his name is Amit Misha. And Kunal, he has Vodafone Idea November call option at a price of 0.5. I'm not sure if it's right, but could be. And also he has a Bata India November 1600 call option at 21.95. What should he do?
Vodafone Idea 45 call option.
15
call option. Okay. So, I would recommend a hold on both of them. Now, Vodafone Idea, of course, is a high beta stock, but I think it's also heading towards some sort of a breakout for itself. Even Bata India, I think, is showing signs of a turnaround. In fact, that stock is looking far more formidable as compared to Vodafone Idea, more stable as well as it's on the verge of a breakout. So, that's a stock which you can maybe even consider adding.
Kunal, this is the next query for you from Moshi Nagarkatti, and he wants to know whether should he invest in L&T or JSW Infra going forward.
See, JSW Infra I would not be able to comment because of the recent history for the stock, less history and the recent listing for the stock price. But L&T is something which looks attractive. I think that's a stock which has performed exceptionally well. And we've seen that over the last 6-8 months, it's been one of the best or rather better performing larger cap names on the Nifty 50 basket as well. So, looks attractive. You can consider that.
All right, and with that, actually, let's kickstart with the rapid fire. And this one is coming in from Mr. Murthy, who is a senior citizen from Bangalore, and he's saying he's holding a huge stock of Suzlon Energy in his portfolio. I'm not sure whether he's making a profit, but if he is making a profit or not making a profit, what's your take, Rajesh?
See, one can continue to hold.
Rajesh, this is from Lakshmanan from Bangalore. He's a senior citizen. He wants to know whether should he invest in Britannia or any other FMCG company.
ITC would be the first choice, and Britannia one can continue to hold, but somebody looking to buy, one can go for ITC.
All right, this one is coming in from RK Jalan, and this one is for you, Kunal. He wants your advice on Biocon. He's purchased 5,100 shares at a price of 234 rupees per share.
Hold is what I would recommend.
The next one is from Akash from Kerala. He holds around 1,000 shares of SJVN at an average price of 77. Should he continue to hold for 1 month, Kunal?
Yes, and in fact look to add in case if it dips towards 75.
Okay, Kunal, another one coming your way. Nishan is asking about Zydus Life, 100 shares at a price of around 656 odd rupees. Should he continue to hold on or book losses?
Hold and if possible look to average at current levels.
The next one is from Manjunath. He holds around 19,000 shares of Tata Steel at a price of 124. Should he continue to hold, Rajesh?
Hold.
Okay, Raji, who is a senior citizen, wants to know about ITC with a 6-month view. Kunal?
I would recommend a hold.
The next one is from Krishna from Chennai. He wants to know whether should he buy Lupin or Cipla at this price, Rajesh?
Cipla would be a better choice at this point of time, although both stocks are good.
Shrikant wants to know about Delta Corp. Kunal, 100 shares at an average price of 126 rupees per share. Should he continue to hold on for the long term or look to exit this particular counter?
I think look to exit.
Well, the next one is from Sajeev Jacob, and he holds around 285 shares of Jindal Steel and 200 shares of Kalyan Jewellers. Rajesh, should he continue to hold?
Both are a sell at this point of time.
Kunal, Pratiksha from Oman wants to know about Bank of Baroda. Price is 216 rupees per share, making losses. Should she go ahead and average this counter and switch to Canara Bank? What's your take?
Hold Bank of Baroda and look to average at current levels.
Well, Rajesh, the next one is on MRPL and IRB Infra. The investor has not mentioned his name, but he has these shares at around 20% profit. He's a long-term investor. Should he continue to hold?
Book profit in MRPL, continue to hold IRB Infra.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as query segment. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Rajesh, for joining us on the show and patiently actually answering all the queries that have come by. But on that note, we are totally out of time in this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. It's a goodbye from Somit, myself, and the team that put the show together. But stay tuned, Markets at Noon coming up next.